Gonna hit the ground running, baby, I'm running, baby, I'm running, 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 running. Gonna hit the ground running, running, running just as fast as I can. Gonna hit the ground running, running, running just as fast as I can. Gonna hit the ground running, ooh, oh, running, baby, baby, running, running now. Ooh, running just as fast as I'm running, just as fast as I can.
うん。